Okay, so it seems like recently there's been a little bit of an update on VTubers and Neuro Sama, which I think is pretty interesting, right? Because there's been a conversation surrounding a kind of competition for Neuro Sama, which I think is pretty interesting, right? Especially considering how successful Neuro Sama has been with the kind of subathon and everything like that, and the records that they have broken. It's kind of begged the question, you know, was there going to be anybody else that was going to attempt to do this? Now, there has been attempts before, of course, but I think that obviously with a lot of the work that Vedal has put in and a lot of the kind of, I guess, momentum that the Neuro Sama fanbase has, it seems like, you know, she's been the most successful, and I don't think anybody has managed to really match that, right? And Neuro continues to grow and improve as new updates and things and new events and hanging out with other people and stuff continue. And yeah, it's been a great time for a lot of people. But I recently came across this post which came out about 8 hours ago talking about a new AI VTuber or whatever, essentially saying someone just open sourced their own Neuro Sama and it might be better than the original, which, hey, that's a pretty heavy claim, right? They say it's called Airi, or I'm guessing Airi, saying a fully autonomous AI companion that talks to you in real time, plays Minecraft with you, plays Factorio, chats on Discord and Telegram, has a live 2D and VRM avatar body, and remembers past conversation and runs entirely on your machine. So they say it runs entirely on your machine. They say not a chatbot, not a voice assistant, a digital being that lives on your screen. So yeah, obviously very similar to Neuro Sama, right? Where, you know, Neuro Sama obviously is more created to be a streamer, and you know, Vedal has created her to be entertaining on stream and all this kind of stuff. I feel like this one can do the same things that Neuro can do in terms of you know, joining chats on Discord, playing games, etc. But I think that it's more so for like a companion type thing. At least that's what I feel like it. So again, it seems like it's more companion based rather than set up to be a streamer or the next streamer, right? They say, here's what this thing can actually do. Apparently, it can real-time voice conversations with speech recognition plus synthesis, plays Minecraft autonomously alongside you, plays Factorio, builds, automates, and strategizes, joins your Discord and Telegram to chat, full animated live 2D and VRM avatar with auto-blink eye tracking and idle animations, persistent memory across sessions, local inference with web GPU, no API calls needed, runs in your browser on desktop like Mac OS and Windows, or on mobile, which again is pretty crazy, right? That's obviously a lot of what Neuro Sama can do, and you could probably imagine the amount of people that would be interested in something like this, right? There's been a lot of people that would probably see someone like Neuro Sama and be like, damn, I wish I had that, right? And again, there's many people that want their own version of Neuro Sama for themselves, but of course, you know, Vedal is running it off like a computer and everything, and it takes a lot to kind of really have something like that. It's not as easily accessible because you have to be obviously good at figuring out like coding and all of that kind of stuff, as well as having the money to buy, you know, parts and things that are able to run it and keep it running you know, locally and whatever, and also just, you know, making improvements, also spending money on, you know, VTuber avatars and whatever. And again, it can be pretty crazy. But it seems like this kind of app or whatever is allowing people to do this themselves. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how customizable this is. Is it going to be one companion or whatever that is essentially just using one VTuber model? Or can you add your own live 2D models in there for it to use for themselves? I don't know. That's going to be very interesting to see how customizable that becomes, because if it does become quite customizable, this could start a new kind of thing, right? And again, I do think at the end of the day, it is pretty sad if, you know, this is going to be the reality, right? Essentially, you know, you're going to have like an AI person, you know, playing Minecraft with you, and it's a bit sad because obviously you can have a real person. Right? Obviously, Neuro Sama is, you know, fine because of course it's on a stream, right? It's you have your like designated time, whatever. You don't necessarily talk directly to her unless it's like a chat message that pops up, and you know, it's like Vedal and a lot of the friends are running it as well. But I feel like this could actually lead some people down into some very, you know, sad kind of pits where they won't interact with anybody but their AI companion, which I think is a little bit concerning. But also it is obviously a big you know, step up in technology, right? I think here's why this matters. Neuro Sama is the most famous AI VTuber on the internet. Millions watch her streams, but she's closed source. When the stream ends, she's gone. You can't talk to her. You can't play games with her. You can't customize her, which is true. And wait, they're saying you, oh, maybe you can customize. Okay. They say Airi is open source answer, your own AI companion, always available, fully yours. Here's the wildest part. Apparently, it supports 30 plus LLM providers, including OpenAI, Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek, Grok, like all of these kind of ones, saying swap the brain with a config change. They say it uses native CUDA and Apple Metal for inference, not some slow wrapper. Real GPU acceleration through Hugging Face Candle. Obviously, that's a lot of words that I do not understand that, but I'm sure that means something to some people. It even has a plugin system so the community can extend what she can do. Watch videos, browse the web, learn new games. The architecture is built for it. It's got 17.5 thousand GitHub stars and 1.7 forks, 2,518 commits, and 101 contributors, 46 releases. This isn't a weekend project. This is a movement, 100% open source, MIT license. Very interesting, right? And of course, I probably will do a little bit of research into this and see what this is all about, right? Because I do think it is a pretty crazy article that has come out. Now, people have been responding to this in response to the kind of Neuro Sama, I guess, side thing of it, right? They're saying with 2D/3D models, better latency, Unhinged can sing, has an evil twin sister, a father who doesn't say it back, VTuber friends, and the swarm, signature look of superiority. They say the feature list alone is wild, but the latency improvement is what actually matters for real use. And obviously, yeah, I feel like, you know, Neuro Sama has really been kind of, I guess, consolidated down into like a pretty perfect kind of thing, right? And that only keeps on getting better. And I think there is this kind of disconnect that people have whenever it comes to Neuro, right? Because obviously Neuro is essentially an entertainer. She is almost like another streamer despite being an AI. And I do think that is slightly different because people turn off the stream, they're done, that's it, and then maybe they'll watch a couple of Neuro clips on YouTube or whatever, right? And again, I do think there is that big difference because with this Project Airi thing, of course, this will be there 24/7 if you wanted it to be there 24/7, and it can be a little bit, you know, I'm a little bit concerned about, like, you know, what that could mean, which again, I do think is a little bit different. So can it run 100% locally? It said, this is the first thing I want to know too. Local equals no API costs and full privacy. That's a deal breaker for a lot of people. Say the hard part is not multi-app control. It is recovery after drift. What is Airi's intervention rate after a 60-minute run across chat plus game actions? So this is the real question. Nobody's asking. Multi-app control is the demo. The Factorio integration is the sleeper feature here. Watching an AI build and optimize a factory alongside you is a completely different category than voice chat, which I think is pretty crazy, right? Obviously, there's been a lot of AI bros and stuff as well commenting on it, but people saying, you know, the reason the Neuro is better isn't because of the high tech, it's because of our development wasn't entirely in closed doors. Starting small is the key to these things. Say building in public gives you feedback loops that no internal team can replicate. That's the real advantage. Now, of course, a lot of people, yeah, have been discussing, like, you know, oh, of course, this thing has a lot of high-tech features and whatever, but I do think there is this charm behind Neuro Sama, which obviously Vedal and the kind of people that are involved in Neuro kind of create for it, right? And I do think that is what is going to give it this different feel. I don't think this is going to be the new big thing for VTubers. I don't think this is going to be a, you know, huge AI boom where we're going to see loads of people using this Airi thing to create their own virtual things and essentially, you know, be a copycat of Neuro Sama, right? Maybe with a completely different system. Now, I think that essentially what is going to happen is some people are going to try, of course, and maybe some will get a little bit of attention, but I don't think they're going to get anywhere near, you know, close to Neuro Sama, especially with the kind of journey that a lot of people have gone through of it. It's kind of been there, they've done it, and that's about it, right? Now, of course, this could potentially, you know, be a future in terms of AI VTubers maybe popping up into, like, you know, kind of shorts and YouTube and stuff like that. I definitely think that could be the case. But in terms of streaming, I do think Neuro Sama is on top and will probably be always on top as long as, you know, they keep on going and keep on streaming, right? And I think that, yeah, obviously seeing it, you know, being built from a very small kind of, you know, thing to now this big thing, I do think this is definitely part of the charm that a lot of people have been interacting with, and that's why they like it so much, right? People saying, I wish I knew how to install it. I'm really bad at this stuff, just I don't know how to do it. So honestly, same feeling. I tried setting up the local AS. I don't know if this is AI, by the way, this reply. I feel like a lot of these replies from this dude is literally just AI. Maybe not, but I feel like he speaks a little bit like it. People saying, do you want to know why Neuro Sama is superior? Because Vedal locally trained her off his own private chats and off Twitch chat. She isn't connected to the open web. That's why people don't scream that she's AI. Because the most important thing about her is Vedal's hard work, which again is true. So Neuro is successful specifically because she doesn't stream 24/7 and cannot be customized by her community. which is true, right? Again, you know, obviously people think there's some kind of advantage to like efficiency and being able to stream 24/7 constantly. Nobody wants that, right? Nobody wants to see an AI VTuber stream 24/7. No, they'll get bored, right? It gets boring after a while, and I think that a lot of people did kind of realize that, especially like, you know, with the Neuro Sama kind of subathon, right? That is still time gated, right? So people wanted to get the most out of the time that they had, and obviously they knew it was going to come to an end at some point. But I think having a 24/7 channel there constantly, it's just not going to work, and I think that will not, you know, be as popular as Neuro. People saying it will not be better than Neuro. Something available to others may be better than the gold standard that has been worked on lovingly over the years by a dedicated developer. Nah, dog. I say no, it's not better than the original Lamau. Yeah, one more step closer to Cyberpunk. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, whenever it comes to this new thing, right, I think that this will not be a competitor to Neuro Sama. I don't think this will be a you know, it's not going to like provide any competition. I don't think anybody is going to really reach the heights that they have reached, right? I think that this will more so go into the kind of AI assistant character AI type thing, right? You know, people that like to speak to chatbots and whatever through AI. I think this is going to be something more for them than the VTuber side of things. I feel like the VTuber side of things is like something that you could do if you really wanted to, but I don't think there's going to be much success in that. And I think there's going to be more people trying to speak to it by themselves privately or whatever, and essentially using it rather than trying to use it as like an alternative for Neuro. I think Neuro is just too powerful, right? It's just too strong. But again, I do think it's an interesting conversation. A lot of people have been talking about it. I think obviously the way that they phrased it, of course, you know, probably you know, angered a lot of Neuro fans in the sense that they're saying like it might just be better than the original, which again, I don't think it is. I don't think it is better than the original. I feel like there's a lot more charm to it that people much prefer. But again, it's interesting for people in terms of chatbots and whatever in the future to see how that will really go out. But as I said, I'll look into it a bit more and provide maybe a little bit of an update in terms of like what I think about it and whether this could be the next big thing or not. I doubt it will be, but you know, we'll see, right? And yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.